So I was putting away Christmas this past weekend. You were saying Amy was doing
Amy
it
did
yesterday.
It too,
It takes forever to put away
oh,
Christmas.
Man, it does.
But this time I think it was good that it took me longer because I knew that I was putting away the ornaments, taking things down. Oh, I'm Cindy Dole.
Well, I'm Eric Stromer.
And this is Home Wizards. And, we're organizing our garage, and we're making very select intentional choices about the boxes, the way that things are being stored. And so I thought, I'm going to take extra time. I don't want to just ram it in a box and throw it in the garage. I want to really find that I love these things. They're going to go in that special tub, and it's going now in this ceiling mounted rack because those are our special areas for the holiday stuff.
And I have to tell you, this is a perfect example, by the way, of creating a space that then motivates you to create really efficient organizational systems.
Yeah.
And I saw it happen with your garage. Your garage before was kind of a crazy nightmare in there, but not unlike mine, same. We all have the same kind of
Well, at least
issue.
your door opened. Oh, ours.
You had to prop it up with a
with a
two-before, as they call it, a two-before, like when you put a hood of your car up, and you put the wire.
Camping.
It's crazy, right?
Not
but
anymore.
now, since you've got this amazing garage where it's all organized, a brand new floor, epoxied, and great
insulation,
drywall, insulated, it's gorgeous. It now motivated you and Bill to find the ultimate organizational system. So it's a great example.
So
hey.
Yay! Well, we're not done yet, but we're almost there. So now we figured. Step one is as you're thinking about your garage. You really need to assess the real estate, like anything, the real estate and the stuff that needs to go into the real estate.
Right.
And then, based on that, how will you hide it and display it, and how will it function? Because if you have, let's say, 50 boxes that are all, super tall, that's not going to fit in a certain cabinet. It might need to be in a ceiling-mounted rack. Or if you have really tall, slender boxes for your gift wrapping and your crafting, well, that's going to need to go, right?
And you're going to have everything in boxes, some kind of a container?
Well, we ended up getting one of those tool drawer cabinets.
Oh yeah, the like the mechanic set where it's on wheels.
So it's one of those red, it's a Craftsman thing.
You want to know what's so great about it?
So those are drawers. What's so great about it?
What you do is you can pull it out from the wall because it's on wheels, move it around, and then push it right back in again. I don't know why they're on wheels,
fun.
but it's awesome.
It feels it's a control thing.
Yeah, it
can go wherever you want.
Hey, honey, I'm going to put the thing over about 2 inches today.
Perfect.
Just wheel it right
over there. And because that's your tool chest.
That's right.
So with the exception of that, everything is in boxes.
Right.
Yes, we're not going to, although I do love pegboard, but we're opting not to do the pegboard. So do you like pegboard?
I love pegboard, but
on this?
A lot of times people don't realize that you have to set it off the wall by an inch or so. Otherwise, you can't get the hooks behind it. So that's the mistake you make. You can't just put pegboard on the wall. You got to lift it off the wall by at least 3/4 of an inch.
So how do you?
So you put battens around, like a piece of wood all around the perimeter,
like
and then maybe one in the center. Exactly.
And that gives it
then that gives it rigidity,
air.
But it has the air behind the wall. So if you're going to do pegboard, do it that way. I like it because you can paint it if you want.
Sure.
It can be a design element.
And I've seen it now, not only like paint by the numbers. I've seen where you paint it, let's say that this is now going to be where you put your hose, and your hose happens to be green.
Yeah.
You paint that section like a nice little
Great
green,
idea.
and then you remember, the hose is going to go there on a hook.
Yeah, you can. You trace around certain tools. That's very helpful too.
Yeah,
this is where the plier goes. It looks like this. I put it in that spot.
I mean, I know it sounds kind of
ludicrous.
rudimentary,
but
you would know that. But
yeah, but it's people forget.
And the less thinking, the better, right? I mean,
Hey,
I don't want to have
hallelujah.
to think about it.
I hear
if you
you.
just kind of have it like it's guiding you, don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Done. Less stress.
Somehow my hand just went to the hammer. I saw it was supposed to go there, and there it goes. That's it.
But categorizing, I mean, this is kind of what you're doing as you're making your plan to treat your garage like any room in your house. You got to measure it. Kind of draw the floor plan.
Yeah.
How much area do you have, and visualize what's going to fit where.
And do you want a car in the garage, or are you going to use it exclusively for storage? I mean, that's a question we all have to ask ourselves.
It's helpful.
We're lucky on the West Coast because we have warmer climate and can keep the car outside. But the folks in the Midwest, especially now where it's in an Arctic, what's it called? An Arctic crunch. Wait, what is it?
It's a cold out. It's amazingly,
Polar vortex. That's it. Polar vortex. Back to you, Cindy, at the zoo.
Thanks, Jim Carrey. But yeah, so I mean, deciding how the garage is going to be functioning is important, and then categorizing all the things you have, deciding how often do you use your cleaning supplies, if that's where they go, or your lawnmower and weed trimmer, or you're not that guy or gal. Instead, you have a crafting area, or instead you have your gardening, your shovels and rakes and seeds and things like that.
And here's some I just came across. Because I've got this backpack blower that can literally be like the Glad guy with a jetpack that blows leaves. I have to have gas now in a can. So in that space that you have, would you want to have the smell of gasoline coming into that area while you're crafting? Probably not. So you may have to decide, am I going to have gas stored in cans here, or do I want to have that stuff outside? So those are all the considerations that have to sort of show up.
Yeah.
Right?
And then as you're keeping things in containers, not only do you want to keep things off the floor, some people say go transparent stackables.
Yeah.
For me, I kind of like to not see. It's kind of like if you're in a kitchen and you have those really beautiful glass cabinets, and that person has sippy cups and mismatched plates.
Oh, you've been to my home.
No, that wasn't your house.
Yeah, it is.
Versus the person that has the Martha Stewart all white collection.
That's not me. No.
So, I mean, if it's going to look beautiful, then have transparent stackables. But I prefer to have color-coded, like Christmas is, red and green tubs.
Sure.
Whatever else is purple, and then label them.
And we've mentioned this before, but there really is a difference between the quality of plastic that does break down, and I've had firsthand experience. It gets brittle and cracks, and then all the airtight aspect of the things that you think
lid
they're
won't
there,
stay on.
it's not going to happen. So find something that's a little thicker, and I think the ones that are more bendable and not rigid are way better and will last longer. So if it takes spending a tiny bit more money, I think you should do it, because within 3 years, otherwise the cheaper purchase is going to crack on you in a hot storage facility.
That's a really good tip, I think. And as you're assessing how your garage is going to be used, kind of making your plan, because no one can organize their garage in a day. We're just talking about kind of creating a storage plan. Now, our goal is to not only have things off the floor, and yes, we do have the ceiling-mounted rack, but now we're going to get some of those cabinets. So
that you'll hang on the wall?
Well, they'll either be hung on the wall, and then I guess a couple might be sitting on the floor, but they'll be really flush against the wall, and with a lot of area, shelving inside the cabinetry.
Very nice. Are you going to have the stools you can sit there on?
Yes, we have a bench.
How dare you?
We have a 7-foot workbench that we already got. It's a bamboo
That's
wood.
My dream.
And it's got a nice...
Do you have one of those lights?
Don't have the light yet. We're going to get that.
You're going to get jewelry eyepieces?
I'm not going to get jewelry eyepieces. What's that?
I don't know, I just threw it in there to see if you were paying attention.
I don't know, but we probably will put a TV in there just to get you.
Get out.
Just to get
and
you.
And a tap, I imagine, of fresh beer.
We're not going to have that.
Yeah, okay.
No, but so as you're thinking about how you're going to use this space, because for us, we want it to be a place where you can create, but also store, and yes, in the colder time, maybe put my car in there.
You might even want to wrap some presents.
Might wrap some presents in
right?
there.
A wrapping station.
I mean, on a 7-foot table, you can really spread
Stop
out.
it. How dare you?
I'll be happy to share the table with you.
Maybe I'll bring some presents over, like during the holidays when the stores offer wrapping services.
Why not? They can keep them hidden from the kids, so it won't be as obvious.
There you go.
There's another gift for Amy.
Yeah.
It won't look like that, right? But as you're thinking about it, set aside some time to kind of analyze how this is going to be, and don't be afraid to hire an expert or maybe even a team of helpers to kind of give you some assistance to kind of stage the area.
Yeah, there are garage organizational companies out there that do an amazing job. Even if you just get an estimate and sort of give them, the idea that you want to do this, and they come and give you a plan, just like with kitchen design.
They can downsize, or they can install some of these shelving units and racks and things.
Yeah, and so you'll just have an idea of how these things can be laid out. There's some great templates out there to see what it can look like.
And I know you're a fan of the big bin, right? Because you want to get rid of as much stuff as you can.
Oh,
right?
Big bin, the what we would call the dumpster in the construction business.
Yeah,
one of those big ones for $300. It's basically unlimited time. They drop it off on your property somewhere. The only thing you have to be worried about is if you leave it out in front of your house or in a side yard area where people can do illegal dumping, they will do it. Trust me. They'll fill your dumpster up in no time.
Oh, that's bad.
We had one in front of my parents' house, and the neighbor started throwing his kid tricycles in there. And before we even got to use it, the thing was full. So you definitely want to make sure that it's in a place where people aren't going to just start throwing their own garbage in. Okay?
Yeah, and they might throw hazmat things in there that don't belong in there.
And then you get burned for it, right?
Yeah, exactly. In fact, so speaking of hazmat, make sure that as you're thinking about where you want to store your stuff and you want to safety-proof your garage, you were talking about keeping some gasoline in there, to operate your leaf blower.
Right.
Designate a safe space for some of those materials like fertilizers and pesticides.
Right. That's right.
And paint even. And we talked about this too, like everyone has leftover paint. I love the idea of getting water bottles, and putting a marble in the bottom of the plastic water bottle, because that's all you really need for touch-up. You don't
keep
need
it shaken up so you can, like a spray can, that little bulb,
exactly.
that ball bearing.
It'll kind of break it down, but then you can also see the color.
That's a good idea.
And if it spills over, the lid's on it. But
actually, that's a great idea, and I'll tell you why. I have to touch up my cinder block wall where somebody spray painted graffiti on it a couple of months ago. So now it's just got primer on it. I wanted to find the color. I know I have it, but I don't know which can it is because it's been sitting outside. The whole thing's rusted. There's no label. I don't have any idea what color it is.
So we're going to put it in the...
Clear plastic is the best option.
Okay.
Great idea.
So what about a garage floor made out of epoxy? We did this, and you've done it before.
I have.
That you could help walk us through.
Yours is glorious.
I have the technique, I call it the fairy dust technique, and we're going to show you how to add the sprinkles.
We will show a video of Cindy doing that. She
it's
literally
kind of like
looks
a little fairy.
The fairy
it's
princess.
The sugar plum fairy. Eric Stromer, Cindy Dole, you're listening to Home Wizards.